Our next team, the Orlando Magic, key free agents include Gary Harris, Mo Bamba, who's restricted. Bobo is restricted. Rolo, Robin Lopez, is a non-bird, unrestricted free agent. Mo Wagner, his $1.9 million salary guarantees on June 30th. Delvin Kennedy is a $1.8 million non-guaranteed deal. Notable extension candidates include Markelle Fultz and Terence Ross. They, surprise, surprise, have no notable trade exceptions. Orlando's best spending tool is they can get up to, assuming they renounce Mo Bamba and Gary Harris and Robin Lopez in particular, $25+ million in cap space. I have their biggest needs, priorities listed as shooting, maybe some true wings rather than combo forwards. Could also use a floor general type since Suggs, Fultz, Anthony really aren't those guys. I do wonder if are they less likely to want that if they, one, believe in RJ Hampton, or two, maybe they really want to just funnel the offense through Paolo Banchero and Jalen Suggs, which I would be fine with.
Yeah, I feel really good about them. The 3, 4, 5 spots. I just, I mean, I don't know if they're the 3, 4, but like I think Wagner and Banchero as a forward pairing, I love it. I think if you get anything out of Jonathan Isaac, who by the way is an interesting trade chip because he's got a partial guarantee on 23-24 and full non-guarantee 24-25.
Did you see, though, there's still no timetable for his return. He had to have hamstring surgery during his recovery from ACL. That was this past March. They expect him to be ready for the start of next season, but he has not played since the Disney bubble.
Right.
It's 2020.
One of the biggest wild cards, unknowns, whatever, in the league. At this point, like it's starting to get towards like the sad side of I think we know. But what just his defensive potential, if he shows anything, man, and the Magic can keep him, like, boy, that really they get very interesting. And if not, like, yeah, that's a tough deal. Kind of a bummer. I really liked him when he was healthy. But yeah, I think, I think you'll probably talk about too, it feels like they have a glut of playmaking guards with Fultz there, assuming he can stay healthy, and Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. But like, I don't know if I believe in any of those guys as like the steward of an offense. I think that's why Banchero makes so much sense there, is he might end up being that guy at a different position. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they can mess around with offer sheets for restricted free agents. They can be ambitious with, spending. They can be a leverage team for other guys out there. And the same options as far as, the Pistons and the Pacers have, and the Spurs, where you can just kind of, will be the dumping ground too, if that's what makes the most sense. They're set up to do kind of whatever they want.
Right. And they could, I feel like they'll go the more conservative route of leasing out cap space than maybe taking some flyers in just free agency on younger guys. And whether that's like an Amir, I say younger, but like a Caleb or a Cody Martin or an Amir Coffey. Could they just be one of the teams that say, hey, we're going to give a windfall to Tyus Jones to just have that offensive steward or game manager? So there are a lot of, you're right, that there's a lot of different stuff that they could do. I've kind of wondered, well, although let's get through this first. Mo Bamba and Terence Ross. Do you think both or either of them will be in Orlando to start next year? Ross is on an expiring contract. He's not a free agent like Bamba.
Right. I think Bamba felt like, why? There's no way he'll be back. They have Carter. It's just like, but if you could bring him back as a backup center for, $5-6 million, it's possible.
And also him and Wendell Carter Jr. played a ton of time together on the court last year. Didn't look great offensively at times, but he could play next to Banchero then. And if you don't know what's happening with Jonathan Isaac moving forward, I think there's a better chance than we're expecting that Mo, even though I predicted that he'll leave. But I kind of just feel like they'll move Terence Ross, they'll let Mo Bamba move on, and they'll just continue delving deeper into this like full scale rebuild.
Yeah. I think that's right. Ross is, again, perennially going to be a deadline. Can we get anything for him? It's probably second rounders at this point. But I think two names that you didn't ask, but I forgot to mention that I really like, both restricted. I don't know why you wouldn't mess around and see if you could make the Blazers think about Anthony Simons.
That's who I was thinking.
Colin Sexton. I think
and
both of those.
The other name I was thinking. I was just about to ask you about those. Do you think either of them provides enough? I like Anthony Simons if you believe that Suggs and Banchero are like 1B type playmakers, and Banchero might be. I feel like I'm somehow higher on Jalen Suggs than the consensus all of a sudden when everyone was so high on him coming out of college. I think he can be that guy. I just want to see him. They put the ball in his hands a lot last year. I just need to see him with more space to operate. They're better set up with Banchero, and then if they can add some shooting, like even bringing Gary Harris back wouldn't be egregious because of how well he shot the ball for them last year. I love the Simons. Sexton, I just don't. I think Simons has a higher playmaking ceiling based off some of the stuff we saw from him last year, where it's when he was collapsing defenses, he understood what to do, not complicated passes. And maybe Sexton's already peaked where you might be able to ratchet up the playmaking if you're Anthony Simons moving forward. I would love him there. I mean,
Sexton's almost a buy low guy at this point. I think maybe that's just me. I just,
if he's costing you 14, 15 to get out of Cleveland, worth a shot.
Right. I agree. Simons would be the real piece there because him and Suggs I kind of like as a long-term fit. And even him and Fultz actually makes a lot of sense if you think Fultz is still like a core consideration there.
I think there's definitely more directionality to Markelle Fultz's off the dribble game than there was, but unless he's going to put consistently more pressure on the rim, get to the line, or develop more than sort of this very methodical, albeit fairly efficient mid-range jumper, I think your offense is going to be inherently capped if you're viewing him as the floor general. What I did think about, and you were talking about, maybe you look at trading Jonathan Isaac. I probably would at this point, but maybe you look at the non-guarantees and say we're hedged against disaster. But teams like Sacramento or Minnesota, maybe even Charlotte, I think there are a bunch of teams that would be interested in maybe you get either picks or just interesting players back. What if they went the other route? So just go with me here. You have Banchero, you have Jalen Suggs, you nail them to the floor, and you go and make an offer for Donovan Mitchell.
Anything so what's that look like?
I mean, it's picks, and you have Chicago's pick. I would include Franz Wagner. I know he had a great year. The Magic fans are very high on him. They've been mad at me in the past for, I think I had him fifth on my Rookie of the Year ballot, and they thought he deserved to be higher. But it's anything that isn't Jalen Suggs or Paolo Banchero. I also thought about, and this would be like, you're not giving up Franz Wagner. It's maybe it costs you not your own future first, and Utah was just kind of looking to get off the money. If you're getting rid of Wendell Carter Jr. in the like a Paolo Banchero, Rudy Gobert front court is fairly interesting.
So hold on, are we trading for Mitchell and Gobert?
No, I'm just saying.
I have some reservations about that. I don't know if they'll.
Mitchell's probably not available, is my point.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think you look at it and say, well, if Isaac is healthy, Wendell Carter Jr. is so cheap, we have Banchero, and we have the option to bring Mo Bamba back. Does Rudy Gobert materially change what we're doing? I mean, you automatically have like a top 5 defense if he and Isaac are on the same team.
Oof, yeah.
But you also have Banchero and Suggs offensively. That is not the target. But if Utah's asking price is so low to where it's not even costing you a Franz Wagner, I wouldn't, they're also a team where if OKC did it, and I don't think they would, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that's something that it depends on, I think they're going to gradually build this thing out. I want to make that clear. But Orlando could do some pretty freaky stuff if it wanted to, and they're that high on just the Banchero, Suggs, even Wagner core moving forward.
Magic fans are so mad at you right now.
They might be happy because everyone always talks about them trading their good players to other teams. So maybe
trading for a good player would be different. That's for sure.
So maybe they're respected or they're angry, like you said.